Welcome to Transformation Matters. Shift from grumpy to grateful, from heartbroken to happy, from helpless to hopeful, from jealous to joyous, and cluttered to clarity. Using 12 themes from the book Live Inspired, stories of brave self-discovery and the wisdom gleaned along the way, I will be sharing an idea, a brief story, and tips you can practice for a holistic transformation of your heart, space, and life. I'm Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired. I passionately guide people to heal, transform, and thrive. Today, I'm sharing about a fresh start. Have you ever just wanted to, just like drop everything and let it all go and clean slate it? Just wash away everything, all of the mistakes, all the bumbling, and just have that new beginning. And some people do believe that each day you wake up is a fresh start, a new chance, an opportunity to make different choices, to think different thoughts, to sing different songs. The story I was like to share with you, there are actually just a couple. There was one from a friend who had helped another friend in the process of leaving her community. Her relationship had ended, and she pretty much just kind of like left her past in the past, got on a plane with personal belongings and very few items, and flew out to her new life. And many loving friends who were behind helped clear away all the other belongings that she had left behind. She had really, really great friends, which is pretty exceptional. Our friends really can step in and support us when we need to make important choices, and courageous ones at that. And it's great to have people show up in your life. And then the other one was I had a friend who was battling cancer, and another friend and I were helping her move, and we quickly discovered that she had many, many, many belongings in her fridge and kitchen, and science experiments. And the one individual looked at me and said, "Gosh, I think she's a bit of a hoarder." And I just thought to myself, well, maybe, but she's doing the best she can. And we were helping her move. And so we just quickly went about clearing out that fridge of all those science experiments and packing the items in her kitchen, throwing items into placing items into boxes. We weren't throwing them. We were throwing away the science experiments from the fridge. But both of these stories just are reminders of how we need one another. And sometimes it's tough to pull the veil up and admit that things are as tough as they are, that maybe your fridge is filled with science experiments and you feel a bit ashamed about that reality. And yet at some point along the trajectory, someone out there has science experiments in their fridge. Nothing to be ashamed of, just something to take action on or ask for support. It's amazing how we walk around often with this pretense that we've got everything held together. I know it's a theme that's emerged again and again in my book, how important to be honest about our lives. And when we are, it's amazing how many other people go, "Oh my gosh, you feel that way too," or "You have clutter in your basement too," or "Oh my gosh, your life isn't perfect and fine." Yeah, and every one of us deserves a fresh start, a clean slate, a chance to start over no matter what has happened in the past. And to really engage that forgiveness inside of ourselves. I know there's a lot of talk about forgiveness. Some people think it's accepting the past couldn't be any different. Others believe it's an inside job. I happen to experience it as an attitude and a way of living life, kind of from grace, because you just don't know what somebody else is going through, and they can behave badly. That doesn't mean you necessarily stick around if they're treating you badly, but you can kind of step back and have that compassion from a distance and see that they are troubled and they've probably are hurting in some way and calling out for love. And that doesn't mean that they even don't deserve a fresh start, a new beginning. So in terms of those tips, being vulnerable, I think that's one of the things. It takes great courage to reach out to friends and share what's actually going on in your life. I think a lot of us don't do it because we fear being judged and we fear being rejected. You know, right up there with the fear of death, which a lot of people have. They also fear rejection or being judged. And many of us then begin to judge ourselves and are really hard on ourselves rather than just realizing that we can choose something different. We can choose a new behavior because that new behavior can signify a true apology. Anyway, those fears can keep us living lives of quiet desperation rather than living free and beyond the limiting beliefs and expectations of other people. And I recognize that there's always going to be somebody out there who likely will reject me or criticize, and if you Google what to do about X, you'll get 20 different ideas out there. And I think the best one is the one that comes from your own gut and your own inner knowing, and being brave enough to take those steps for a fresh start, to clear the slate and lean into the people who really have your best interests at heart. A friend and colleague of mine, Andy Vargo, talks about owning your awkward. I guess this would come in as a second idea. So that first is, I would add, what do you value the most, and what are you willing to set free to create that life, that fresh start? A lot of times it means letting go of the rejection, letting go of rejecting yourself, letting go of the judgments of yourself. And then there's this owning who you are, like all the parts and pieces and expressions of who you are as a human being. It helps so much to be able to do that and breathe and know that every human being on the planet has felt fear, has felt rejected or experienced betrayal, has experienced loss in some form or fashion. Not anybody on the planet has a perfect life. They just don't. And even if it seems that way on the outside, who knows what's going on inside their minds and in their hearts? We don't have access to that. So giving yourself permission to be perfectly imperfect with your relationship to your physical space, which may in fact be filled with clutter or disorganized. Maybe your life remains filled with distractions, things that pull you out of your sweet spot when you know you need to make a shift to a new life experience. So begin to notice that, what has you stuck, and then know that you can open a drawer and clear out that clutter. You can open the fridge and start throwing away those science experiments. You can do it today. even right after you listen to this podcast, or maybe you're listening to me while you're in the kitchen. So you could open the fridge right now and start throwing away those science experiments for your fresh start. Some people see a third idea is some people see life simply as a management opportunity. Rather than anything about shifting a mindset, it's really about taking new actions with your that you take your body. Your body creates new realities. Your body contains so much wisdom. I mean, what if you were just to stand up right now? If you're not standing, well, if you're in your car driving, keep driving and be safe. But in the event that you're sitting, maybe just stand up and put your arms up over your head. Put them at your waist in that kind of Superman pose, or the V up over the head, that victory pose. It literally changes the chemicals in our bodies. It's amazing how just taking a new action each day can make for that fresh start. And our bodies can be so powerful in teaching the mind. It's like the body leads and the mind can learn. The body leads and the mind can learn. So what's something new that you can literally do with your body, whether it's holding your toothbrush with the opposite hand and just become present, because you have to focus on what that feels like, and getting to all your teeth, holding the toothbrush with your opposite hand. That can be a part of your fresh new start. Last idea is to throw a gratitude or host a gratitude giveaway party where you bring items that you're ready to release and a small item you love, and allow everyone to share the story of the items they are releasing and the story of the item they love and are keeping. This can be such a blast. You'll find out all kinds of things about your friends and neighbors, people that you care about. And you can potluck it to make it simple and have each person bring a fruit or beverage they love to eat or drink and just have a blast. People have amazing stories about their belongings. You know, to you and I, a white cloth may just look like a white cloth, but to that person, it's their dad's hanky, and he passed away. And so they're holding on to that small piece of white cloth because it's a connection to their father. And who are we to step in and tell that person what to do with that cloth? So everybody has these amazing stories of what they love in their physical space and what they're ready to release. And it can be so incredibly empowering as a step towards that fresh start. So again, being vulnerable, owning you're perfectly imperfect, but then being brave and stepping in with new actions. Take those new actions. The body leads, the mind will learn. Host a gratitude giveaway party where you bring items that you're ready to release, and maybe a point in, and maybe as the host you just offer to bring that basket and everybody put those items they're ready to release, and you take them to everybody's favorite charity. Those ideas for a fresh start. Next time we'll discuss breakthroughs in being alive, with an idea, a brief story, and tips to support your self-discovery, transformations in your experience of being alive. This is Transformation Matters with Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired. I passionately guide people to thrive. You are loved more than you can even imagine. You matter to our world. Till next time.